Hey guys, so I am back again with another video. The baby's sleeping right behind me and I don't want to wake her, and Oscar is currently walking Rocco outside, but I wanted to take advantage now that she's sleeping to tell you guys a little story time. I want to tell you guys my experience in labor and how everything started, how it ended, what happened throughout, the pain, everything. It was quick. It was a quick labor, which I am very thankful for, but it was the most painful experience ever. Worse than what I went through with Angelise in labor. Like, it was crazy. So let's get into this video. May 13th. May 13 was when my contractions started. Now, as you guys know, I was at my best friend's house because me and Oscar believed that it was best to stay close to the hospital that I was going to give birth in. Her birthday was May 13th. I had an appointment that same day. I woke up in the morning and I noticed that I was getting these very sharp pains, and I would wake up every 4 to 5 times to go pee. So I was like, it was around 9:30, I want to say 9:30, and I was having these very sharp pains, and I noticed, you know, like they were every 20 minutes. The pain would come every 20 minutes, and I told her I think I'm having contractions. So I had an appointment that very same day, as I mentioned before, and I went and I told my midwife I'm having pain. So she told me that either today, at that time she was like, either today or tomorrow you should be in labor. So my induction day was May 17th, and I honestly thought I was gonna last till the 17th because this baby was very stubborn. She did not want to come out at all. She was just too comfortable in there, and I'm like, you know what, I lose all hopes. I'm not gonna give birth on May 11th, which I didn't. So I went over and I gave birth May 14th. But before I get into that, let me continue my story. I'm sorry guys, I have like a little guide here because I don't want to miss out any details. Okay, so it was my best friend's birthday, so she had like a little birthday celebration with some family over and some friends. So I was there, but I was so upset I couldn't even give it my all. Like, I couldn't enjoy myself as much as I thought I could because my contractions were then every 15 minutes when I got back to the house. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm definitely having contractions. I sat on my little exercise ball that I had bought and was moving around and trying to dilate, you know. I was walking up and down the stairs with her cousin, and I was like walking back and forth the hallway, and let's just say, you know, it was very painful. It was very painful. And that very same moment I did call Oscar because I did, like, something in me like felt like I was gonna give birth either that day or the day after. So I told Oscar, I'm like, listen, bring the car seat, bring the dog, which he left at my grandparents' house, and I think it might be time, you know, like in a few. He got all nervous, you know, Oscar. He like tried to rush over, so angsty and nervous, and he came to my best friend's house. So when he got there, I was having contractions. They were getting very strong, and they were like every 10 minutes. So to make the story short, it went down to every 5 minutes. Now after that, I was bleeding throughout the time. So if you are a first-time mom and you notice that while having contractions you're bleeding and your water has not broken, that's normal. That's completely normal. I was nervous at the beginning because with Angelise my water broke and I didn't dilate, but with this pregnancy I was dilated already and my water did not break. So I was bleeding, I was spotting. It wasn't like a drastic, like, oh my god, I'm bleeding, but you know, you do spot here and there, which is very normal again. And I noticed that my contractions were going down to every 2 minutes. Guys, this was when the real deal happened. Let me tell you guys, real deal. every 2 minutes. That was like, I'm talking too loud. Every 2 minutes, that was so painful. Like, I felt like she was just like crowning and trying to like push herself down, and it was, well, not that I felt like she actually was. I felt the pressure of her going down plus the contraction at the same time. We called the ambulance got there, they took us to the hospital, and when I was at the hospital, Oscar could not be with me for like the first hour because he couldn't be in the same room as me until I was like officially admitted in a hospital, and I was just like in the emergency section part of the hospital, like for women like in labor. So I was going through those sharp pains for like an hour by myself, and they were telling me, oh yeah, can you go to the bathroom, we gotta collect some urine. And I'm like, I'm in pain. Like, how do you just expect me to get up and go to the bathroom when I'm like contracting and it's so painful? So I'm like here trying to figure out how I'm gonna get up to pee. I finally made it after like 30 minutes, but you know, it was very painful. I was finally admitted into the hospital because when they checked, I was 4 centimeters. So they said, okay, you're especially in active labor. So before they admitted me into the room where I was gonna give birth in, they tested me for the virus. Guys, that stick was like this long, and they stick that thing up your nose. Like, I felt that thing right here, and I'm like, so it's very funny because when the lady puts the stick up my nose, who's gonna sit there with a straight face like, just okay, yeah, just stick something up my nose? No, I was like making all these like faces or whatever, and she was like, oh no, you can't make a face because, you know, you have to like rest it, you have to, she was like, rest your face. I was like, how you expect me to rest my face? It hurts and it's uncomfortable. Like, it didn't hurt, but it was very uncomfortable. Like, I felt that thing right there, and I'm like, okay, like, but luckily it's like less than 5 seconds, but it's like the most uncomfortable thing ever, like very uncomfortable. So she finished, she did it, and I finally, an hour later, I was admitted into the room. By the way, as you guys saw in the birth vlog, it was such a beautiful view. It was so amazing. I saw the view of the city, the skyscrapers, the bridges. It was really nice, although I didn't really pay attention to it at the time because I was in so much pain. But now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh, okay, that was actually a really nice room. I got into the room, Oscar came in after, and that's when the real deal happened. Like, I was in pain. They put this medication in me. I forgot what it's called, but it was so painful. Now that, if you guys know, you guys can comment down below. It was like a burning sensation. It burned so bad. It was a combination of burning plus me having contractions. So it was like, I'm here holding my arm, I'm here holding my stomach. Like, it was just so painful. So when I was contracting, my arm was like, it felt like it was on fire. So I'm just like, okay, like, when is this gonna be over with? She's waking up. So I was in labor, or at least if you want to say active labor, from like 8 o'clock at night till 1 in the morning. I gave birth at 1:13 in the morning, May 14, and I was admitted into the hospital at 8 o'clock p.m. Now, if you want to add the hours previously to where I was contracting before, if you want to say from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m., that's like 15 hours. But it honestly didn't really feel like it. It was more of those strong contractions that I started to feel before 8 o'clock when I was at my best friend's house. And like I said before, I got admitted at 8. When they checked me, I was 4 centimeters, and around 11 o'clock, I want to say, I was 6 centimeters. Now, the pain was so unbearable. Like, I couldn't even stay in bed. Like, if you guys have ever, for the moms out there who have been in labor and tried their hardest to not get an epidural, and the pain is so hard that you ended up just giving in and getting it, I was one of those. I told myself and I told Oscar, I'm going to try my hardest to not get it because I know the aftermath of the pain after you get it, it's like you get these very bad back pains, and you will, at least for me, they say not every woman is the same, but for me, my back pain is still there to this day when I was in labor with Angelise, and it's been 5 years, and now even more so. Like, it's so painful. And I didn't get my epidural until like 11 o'clock. So at first they couldn't give it to me because they said that they found something in my blood when they drew it. They said they found something in my blood and they needed to like look into it to see if it was safe to get an epidural. Now the whole time that I was there, they were trying to contact person from the lab. They were not responding, and I'm like, dude, like, I need to get this right now. Like, I'm in so much pain. So the person never responded. Well, they did, but like later on. And I was in pain, and I was contracting every 2 minutes. I was at the edge of the bed almost falling. I couldn't even get up because every single movement that I made, I literally got a contraction, and those contractions lasted like a minute. And I'm like, no, like, this is, it's like my contractions would last a minute, it would stop, and a minute later I'll get another contraction, and it was so painful because I was at 6 centimeters. I'm like, I need this epidural, like, I need it now. So then maybe half an hour of just straight pain, the person responded, and it turned out that everything was okay. I didn't have nothing in my blood, and they said, okay, let's start the epidural process. So when they started it, I had to, you know, do the usual bending down. The procedure that they used this time with this labor was so different than with Angelise. Or at least maybe I was too young and I forgot. I don't know. I had to be in a butterfly. I had to sit. Or what did I? No, I'm lying. My legs were out and I was holding the nurse's wrist. I remember that. And they had me curl a little bit. But imagine curling sitting down with the contraction. It was so painful. I couldn't even sit still. But they found out that I had scoliosis, so like they like made sure my spine was okay, and they put in the little, I guess, well, not little, they put in whatever it is they put in to like numb my back. But while they did that, I felt everything. Like, I felt like they were just scraping my bone, and it was so painful. But I felt like they were scraping my bone, and I remember I was just complaining and whining. I was just whining. And like, you know, obviously I was in pain, so I was like complaining, I guess you want to say. I don't know, not complaining, but I was making it known, okay, I'm in pain. So after she was done, I felt this tingly sensation in my knees, like kind of like they were like very heavy, they were weak. So then she put in the epidural, and the epidural kicked in that minute, like maybe 20 minutes later it kicked in, and I felt okay. I was able to talk because within those couple of hours that I was in labor, I couldn't say a word. I would try to talk. The lady that was telling me the procedure and how the epidural would go, I couldn't even ask her any questions because every time I would talk or move, I just got a contraction, and I'm just like, dude, like, this hurts, like, it's just so painful. So she put in the epidural. 20 minutes later, I was okay. And then, guys, an hour later, when I finally felt okay, I'm like, okay, whenever the baby wants to come out, I'll be ready to push. My contractions come right back, and the nurse is telling me, oh, if you want, press the button so that it takes 10 minutes for the effects to come in and you won't feel any pain. So I noticed it was more than 10 minutes that passed by and I didn't feel anything. So I'm here pressing the button again, and I didn't get any type of like relief. Like, the pain was still there. And she's like, oh, that's weird. And I'm just like, yeah, it is very weird. Like, I want the effect to come in. So I lasted a whole hour in like hardcore contractions again while having the epidural there, and it wasn't even doing anything at all. So I'm like, this was just a waste. I had an epidural taking effect for an hour, and I'm gonna have a lifetime of back pain for an hour worth of relief with no pain when I was in labor for 5 hours. So I'm just like, wow, it was so not worth it. But I mean, hey, while that hour passed by, the doctor came in to check how dilated I was, and I was 6. No, I was 6 before already. She checked and it was already time to push. So it was time to push, and she told me, you know, whenever you feel like you're having a contraction, just push. I felt a contraction come and I kept pushing every time I felt them. So in about 7 pushes, I want to say, in about 7 pushes, the baby was finally out, and that was the most precious moment I experienced again. And it was very special because I had Oscar by my side through it all, you know, through the contractions, the labor, the delivery. He was very, very helpful, and he did things that night that I'm like, wow, like I never thought I'd let any man do. Obviously it was so that he can help me, but if you guys know me, I like to do it all. Like, I feel like I can do it all, or at least I try to limit on how much help I receive. But I was so weak and I couldn't really do much, so I allowed him to help me. And to see how he willingly just wanted to help and not even care, like complain or be like, you know, whatever, like he willingly wanted to help, and I truly appreciate him for that. And I'm very thankful. Our baby girl was 8 pounds and 9 ounces. That was like the biggest I thought. I'm like, wow, 8 pounds, like sheesh. I got no stitches, thank God. I was very surprised because with Angelique she was 6 pounds and I got stitches, but luckily, you know, this time around I didn't get no stitches at all. She was 8 pounds, and she was born at 1:13 in the morning on May 14. And I truly want to thank everybody who reached out to me, who asked if I was okay. I truly appreciate everybody who gave me a phone call, who texted me, you know, who video called me. I truly appreciate you guys. This was my labor and delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have any questions about labor, if you guys are a first-time mom and if you're pregnant, you guys can always message me on my social medias. They're in the description box down below. If you guys are wondering about whether or not the father could stay, if you guys wonder if Oscar stayed, Oscar did stay, but he was allowed to stay with me at the hospital. We were given a single room the second day that we were there. We had to stay there for actually no, we were transferred the day after. We had to stay there for 2 days because the baby was born with heart murmur. With her blood type, she was at a higher risk of turning yellow because she had jaundice, so she had to be monitored. And you know, I'm pretty sure I got that covered in my previous video. He was able to stay in a hospital, and I'm glad that he was. He got a pull-out mattress and he was very helpful, very helpful. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope you guys give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to this channel, click that bell post notification button so you guys can be notified every single time I post another video. I love you guys, and I see you guys in the next one. And I know we owe you guys a video. I know we owe you guys several videos, but I know we owe you guys the name reveal. The name. What is the baby's name? We've been waiting. Yes, I am very sorry. It's just the whole false alarm that we had a few days before I actually gave birth. We decided it was best to stay at my best friend's house, and obviously we want to provide you guys with a good video. And we were not together those couple of days. You know, he was here home in Queens and I was at, you know, her house. So it was very hard, but that video will be done. We were actually thinking, you guys, of doing a face reveal and the name reveal in one video, or having one video be her name reveal and then the other video being her face reveal. Comment down below what you guys would rather see. Again, we provide what you guys want to see, not what we want to show you guys, because it's ultimately what you guys want to see. So if you guys want to see a name reveal plus face reveal, comment that down below. If you guys just want a name review in one video and a face review in the other, you guys can also comment that below. I see you guys in the next video. Love you guys, and I hope you guys tell your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your brother, and your best friend about this video. Tell them to tell their friend about the video, and tell their friend to tell another friend, and let's just keep it going, guys. I love you guys, and see ya.